Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am humbled, honored, and truly grateful for standing here before you all tonight. For those of you that do not know who I am, my name is Laibel Weiner, and I grew up in Queens, New York. I have no shame, and I am proud to say that I've been in therapy for 8 years, and I plan to do so till the day I die. I believe every single person can benefit from speaking to an objective person once a week to see how they can improve their life, their relationships, and their overall personal development. Just 12 days ago, on Motzei Shabbos, I placed a call to Tzvi Gluck, founder of Amudim, to ask him if he could set up a donation page on the Amudim website so people can make tax-deductible donations. My goal was simply to try and save one Joe. I hoped if I was given real siyata d'shmaya, maybe I could even raise enough money to save 2 Joes. One of the main reasons that Joe died was because he did not have the finances to get the professional help he so desperately needed. Now, just 12 days later, after my call to Tzvi Gluck, thanks to the help of many amazing close friends and others, we have all gathered together to listen to 10 of the most renowned Jewish singers of our generation and have raised $150,000 as of the start of this evening. But as everyone here knows, the real reason we gathered here tonight is not to just listen to beautiful music composed by amazing artists. We are here because there's a Mageifa in Klal Yisrael, which must be addressed immediately. On the surface, this Mageifa presents itself in the form of rampant addiction, maladaptive behavior, unhealthy relationships, self-harm, and Rahman al suicide. This is how it presents itself, and to a degree, mistakenly, this is what we are fighting. But at its root, everyone please listen, we are dealing with a far more complex and subliminal issue. The truth is, by the time this Mageifa finally presents itself and the call is finally placed into Amudim, most of the damage has already been done. Unlike Yena Machla, this Mageifa cannot be diagnosed by an oncologist, and there is no treatment protocol for this Mageifa per se. However, what I can say with confidence is that these people can be saved, as I've seen the results of good treatment firsthand with my own eyes. It is no secret that the rampant addiction, maladaptive behavior, and suicides we are experiencing in Klal Yisrael right now are simply the symptom of the issue and not the cause. As per just about every single mental health professional alive today, some very esteemed ones sitting in the crowd, these behaviors are symptoms of a far deeper and more complex issue. It is widely agreed upon between almost all of the top mental health professionals that the real issue we are facing today that is crippling our youth is a Mageifa of shame, lack of self-esteem, and lack of worthiness. The real Mageifa we are actually facing today is that our youth have been given over a form of Yiddishkeit which has overbearing expectations and incredibly high standards. This form of Yiddishkeit strips away the key components of joy and beauty that only Yiddishkeit itself has to offer. We have made the grave mistake of prioritizing Ben Adam Lamakom at the expense of Ben Adam Lachavera. At the very least, they should be equal. Rather than worry if our children have stellar midos and if we are being role models who they should look up to and emulate, we have chosen to worry about how many block Gemara they have learned in the 9th grade, how far below the knees one skirt goes, and whether they are sitting at the table for the entire Shabbos meal. We just finished counting the Omer less than a month ago. Chazal tell us that the 24,000 of Rabbi Akiva's Talmidim died because there was a lack of Bein Adam Lachavero, not because of a lack of Bein Adam Lamakom. The second Beis HaMikdash was also destroyed due to Sinas Chinam, which is Bein Adam Lachavero reasons, and not because of Bein Adam Lamakom reasons. We have walked away from the fundamentals of Yiddishkeit, which bring joy and happiness, and have replaced them with lofty expectations and goals that lack perspective and create feelings of pain and unworthiness when our youth cannot live up to them. The standards and expectations we have set around Ben Adam Lamakom are crippling our generation. One of my mentors, who was instrumental in my most formative teen years, would tell me, would parents rather their children finish Mesechtas of the Gemara from the time they're born till they're 20, or from the time they are 20 till they're 120? We have lost perspective on what the big picture and ultimate goal is: to raise healthy, productive, Ovdei Hashem who love Yiddishkeit. Furthermore, We have done this without giving any credence to our youth that Bein Adam L'Chavero is equally as important as Bein Adam L'Makom. Similarly, we have pushed Yiras Hashem over Avas Hashem. In case it's not abundantly clear, this method does not work anymore. We are in a generation where the nisyonos presented to the average kid on a daily basis is greater than probably any other generation in the history of the world. If our youth continue to operate out of fear of Hashem and His Onish, and not out of the love of Hashem and the schar that He gives us, we will continue to lose them one by one. We must pivot and we must adapt. What worked 100 years ago in Eshtetl and Radin is different than what will work today in the modern era we live in. The feelings of shame, guilt, and worthlessness that are induced by not being the perfect Eved Hashem is evident and on full display. Almost every week now, we hear of a teen or young adult who, Rachmana litzlan, has committed suicide or overdosed. Almost every week, we see another teen we know make the painful decision to no longer embrace Yiddishkeit and the beauty it has to offer. The reason for this is because for these kids, there is no beauty and joy in the Yiddishkeit they were given. There is just pain, confusion, shame, and a lot of inner turmoil. I've yet to meet someone who stopped doing something that brought them happiness and joy and contentment, and I've also never met someone who continued to do something that brought them endless pain, shame, and guilt. I am not saying we shouldn't encourage our youth to strive in their growth of Bein Adam L'Makom. We should. And of course, this is equally as important as Bein Adam L'Chavero. But the balance must be equal, and one should not come at the expense of the other. We know the halacha is that you should not give tochacha if it won't be received or if it will be given over in the wrong way. Torah is no different. Rav Shlomo Volbe says, and I will quote, "The same way a flower cannot flourish in a barren desert, Torah and all the emes and beauty it has to offer cannot flourish in a barren soul." We must go back to the drawing board and start again with the fundamentals. The fundamentals are Musar and Midos, nothing else. We must lead this charge with action and not with words. We must tell them what to do less and allow them to watch what we do more. If we act appropriately, especially in the face of stress and adversity, they will see it, recognize it, and absorb it. We must show our youth we are equally as proud of them for their achievements in Bein Adam L'Chavero as we are for their achievements in Bein Adam L'Makom. The Gemara says, Hashem can be done us and forgive us for our mistakes to Him, but our mistakes to our fellow friends are more important because Hashem cannot forgive us on behalf of others. If we execute on this, we will raise children who have a healthy and positive outlook on Yiddishkeit. We will raise children who will learn to love Yiddishkeit and all the joy and beauty it has to offer, and we will raise children who don't feel their failures if they are not the absolute perfect Ovdei Hashem. I've been blessed to have spent lots of time in homes where the parents make every effort to implement this approach. Most of them are friends who I consider mentors, who are in their high 30s to low 40s and understand the mitzias of the nisyonos our youth face on a daily basis, and they have adapted. The results are clear, and for anyone who's been blessed to see this, you know what I am referring to. A happier home, a more joyful home, kids who are flourishing and growing, and marriages that are healthy and stable. However, I do want to be clear, and this is very important. Now is not the time to cast blame. Now is not the time to point fingers. That will get us nowhere, and what has happened in the past cannot be changed nor undone. Now is the time to take action and pivot and implement a new set of priorities in the chinuch of our youth. Most importantly, now is the time for every adult to take full accountability. We cannot control others, and we should not try to. We can only look in the mirror and control our actions and our reactions. We should be asking ourselves, am I treating my spouse, kids, and friends the way I'd want to be treated myself? Are my midos stellar, and do I act like a mensch even when there's adversity and things get tough? Now is the time to tap into the beautiful gift of empathy that Hashem gave us and show tremendous understanding to others while also setting important and necessary boundaries so we don't have resentment later. I believe that if we all take action and implement this approach, Amudim will get far less frantic calls, we won't have to gather here to raise money, and Klal Yisrael will put an end to this horrific magefa that has claimed the lives of so many of our youthful neshamas. I have prepared a video of Joe for everyone here so you can get a glimpse of who he was. Additionally, just a few days ago, I found out that another dear Chaver, also committed suicide. If you met either one of them on the street, you'd never know they were in pain. They presented no different than your son, your nephew, or your typical guy. Joe would come to my house for Shabbos probably for 2 years straight. He'd take the Amud every Friday night he was there and sing Kabach Nagunim for Kabbalah Shabbos and Lechododi, like your own son does. He'd sing Zmiras at the table with my friends and I for hours on end. Zach, who I remember from Zichron Aryeh, was the life of the party when we were together in Zichron Aryeh. Always a smile on his face, always bringing joy and humor to others. He was a hilarious guy. This video will give you an idea of who they were and the special neshamas that we are losing in Klal Yisrael. Joe and Zach were karbonos of this mageva. They are just two of many who succumbed to this gezerah from Beis Din Shel Mala. As you can see from the video, Joe and Zach look like any other person you know, but inside their pain was indescribable. For a while, they both cried silently, then not so silently, and then their cries grew louder and louder until eventually there were no more cries. And as always, as we always do, we all collectively let out our own cry and gasp. How could this happen? What did we do wrong? What should we have done? We promised we would make the changes after David committed suicide last month. And then we go back to our regular lives since we're all busy and the cycle continues. Rinse and repeat. As you can imagine, there were many hurdles that presented themselves over the last 12 days. My friends and I were determined, committed, and used laser-like focus to make sure that this event happened in the timeline we were given. The point is as follows. Klal Yisrael is special. When we set our mind to something, work together and lift each other up, we can do anything. My goal was to raise $1 million to help these cholim who so desperately need it. We support Hatzalah because we understand how imperative it is for them to be able to react immediately. We understand that in life and death situations, not a second can be wasted, or we may be too late. This is the same thing. This is life and death, and not a second can be wasted. We need to act right here, right now, immediately. We must do something now to bring this magefa to a screeching halt and show the Ribono Shel Olam that at the very least we are doing our hishtadlus right here, down here. Only then can we go to the Ribono Shel Olam and beseech him to do what is necessary from up there. I am no gevir. And there are many out there that are far, far wealthier than me. But that has not stopped me from trying to do my part and trying to make an impact. I am just a 27-year-old kid with a heart, a pulse, and some crazy determination to make change now, this minute. Right now, this minute is the time we inform every single person that has this machla, whether young or old, single or married, that we get it, and we will not stand by idly. The agreement I made with Tzvi Glock on our call 12 nights ago on Motzei Shabbos was that every single dollar donated will go directly to helping those with this machla. Not a penny will go to Amudim's incredible staff or operations. This money will go to getting those with this machla the treatment they so desperately need including putting them in front of the best mental health professionals in the world if it is determined that is what's necessary. This morning, I got a call from Moshe Yachanis, founder and director of Archstone Behavioral Health, a treatment facility in Boca Raton, Florida. He told me he would like to get involved and would like to donate a free bed at this facility, which is roughly a $35,000 value. Ari Weiss has offered to give $25,000 if we can get 3 other people to match the donation, so this entire event is covered, and every dollar we raise from the klal will go directly towards this cause. That being said, I, Laibel Weiner, all 27 years of me, who does not have a ton of money, am pledging right here to donate $25,000 to this cause. I will give $5,000 tonight right here and another $20,000 over the next 24 months. I'm asking every single givir that has the ability to do so to step up to the plate right this minute and match my donation. Anyone who knows me well will tell you that I never ask anything of others that I myself am not willing to do. Tonight is no different. At this time, I'd like to pause for a moment and find out who from this crowd would like to donate. You can also pledge this money over the course of the next 12 to 24 months and set up a payment plan that works for you. I am in for $25,000. Who else is ready to give? And if you're online, go donate online. Yaakov Shweki, when I called him, I just want to give the story behind the song because it's very important for everyone watching to understand what happened. I had all the singers I wanted, but I wanted to make an offer that could not be refused. And to do that, you need to bring in the best of the best and not shortchange anything. Yaakov Shweki calls me back, and he tells me, you are not going to believe this. 1 year ago, my dear chaver and close friend, I don't know, tells me he walked in on his son dead of a suicide/overdose. Topic. Bottom line is he committed to doing a song to discuss this person who passed away. He finished recording it 4 weeks ago and plans to release it in 2 weeks. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce the Michael Jordan of Jewish music, Yaakov Shweki.
Time to dance, time to sing with Amudim. Kulano besimcha, la la no halala. Every code, yeah, let's speak. Let's go. What an amazing night of energy. Every single dollar going to help out brothers and sisters. No better place to be, guys. Thank you, Tzvi. Thank you, Laibel. Let's go. Woo! You guys are unbelievable.